once we were done with the gators and crocodiles, we headed to the Keys. And our first stop is going to be the Turtle Hospital, which was pretty cool. Whenever there's an injured turtle, they go out and get it, bring it back, and then they rehabilitate it. Also had some iguanas hanging around out there. They also have a great big wild section for those that for some reason can't be released to the wild. While on the Keys, we'll do some kayaking. Saw some pretty neat stuff. Sponge, pretty interesting. Saw a bunch of these things. I don't even know what they are. Some kind of jellyfish, I think. Saw our first live horseshoe crab. Picked up a bunch of buoys. We didn't steal them. They had busted loose and blown into the mangoes. To stay out on the Keys would have cost about $170 a night if we could have found the place. But our first night we stayed in the parking lot behind Publix. The second night we stayed in the bank parking lot. And the third night this church let us park in their parking lot. We were pretty fortunate. We got to see some key deer. We didn't realize until after we had fed them that you're not supposed to. It was pretty obvious somebody else had been feeding them besides us. Our last stop on the Keys was Key West, and we touristed around, had a few drinks, went and saw the most southeast point you can go to in America. It was a great big long line to stand in line and have your picture taken with it. We didn't. The Keys has a ton of roosters and chickens running around. It's pretty interesting. Anyhow, great time on the Keys, saw the world's loneliest tree, and then we took off and headed to the Jennings Fish Camp, where we parked right on the lake. Had some great sunrises. Good foggy mornings, which was pretty cool. And then just all day long great views. It's pretty lake. Did some kayaking as well as some fishing from the kayak. And the fishing was really good. Caught some nice bass. I never did get a really huge bass, but caught some nice bass. Got some beautiful crappie. Right from the deck, I was pretty much able to catch catfish. Couple different species. That's a speckled, that's a brown. At least I think they are. The last thing that comes in there are the shell crackers. And I did net a wild tilapia, which was pretty good eating. Met some real nice people while we were there. This is Denny, did some fishing with him. And as it warmed up in the mornings, we'd every now and then have an alligator out front. This one was particularly fond of me. He'd come out and visit me in the kayak, about a 10-footer. Although when we're in the water, they seem like they're about 20 feet. The lake was great. Had a good time there. Lots of pretty sunsets and just nights on the lake. This dock here had a heron that would usually park on the end with an owl that would join it occasionally. We weren't able to make Mardi Gras, so we had one there with the golf cart parade. But it was a real nice park. Had a swimming pool. Probably the only thing it had that we didn't particularly care for were the blind mosquitoes. When the weather was right, they would cover everything. But fortunately, they don't bite. They're just a nuisance. Saw tons of birds. I particularly like this. I saw this a lot of times. This is an osprey fishing, and if you listen, you can hear them hit the water. Pretty good. And I saw all kinds of birds. Everything from big old sandhill cranes. We had vultures come park right out in front of the rig. Probably the most interesting thing, we had a couple of owl chicks that fell out of the nest. And being the nice guy that I am, I put them back in the nest. Don't start laughing now, woman. And they enjoyed it. Parents would watch me, and I'd put them back in the nest a couple of times. The last time, though, one of them swooped down and gave me a black eye that Sharon finds funny. Jennings Fish Camp was really a great time, and we really enjoyed ourselves there. And then we're gonna head down to, I think, Wauchula to go hunt for some fossils.